Heaven will help those who are ready to help themselves. What we are saying in Nigeria as I speak today is the northern Islamist groups have been organizing a protest since 2 days ago in Kano, in Kaduna, and in Abuja. They have taken to the streets carrying placards that Donald Trump, you are not welcome, that there is no Christian genocide, that indeed we are living in peace, love, and harmony, that you shouldn't come, we do not welcome you. Yet, those that have been crying that they need help, the Christians in their numbers, who call themselves Nigerians, are quiet. They cannot go to the streets. All they can do is remain online on social media. If you all believe that there is Christian genocide and indeed you want Donald Trump to come and clear the extremists, then there should be a counter protest that is even more bigger, larger, and louder than what Elzazky, that is the man, the leader of the Shiite movement. These are the group that have a direct link with Iran, the likes of Hamas. The Christians must mobilize. If that doesn't happen, I have a prediction. Donald Trump should not waste his time. I dare say that if the Christians fail to mobilize, that they need Donald Trump's assistance, not to take over Nigeria, but to take out all the Islamic extremists, all varieties of extremists that are causing terrorism, that are causing insurgency within the territory of Nigeria, that they should go ahead. If the Nigerian Christians fail to do that, Donald Trump, don't come. Stay away. Stay away. We cannot continue to be crying. We cannot continue to be saying that our fellow tribes of men of faith are killed, but yet we are silenced in the face of troubles. We are silenced when we are being questioned of our conviction. Because this dilly-dallying attitude of the Christians, this flip-flopping of the Christians, this lily-livered movement whereby there's no pastor. This is a non-religious leader that is leading this campaign. Nobody is stopping him. No police stopped him. There's no notification. Perhaps he got a permission from the police to do this campaign. How does the Christian outcry for America to come and help us clear out terrorists, how does it threaten our sovereignty as a nation? Unless you have a skeleton in your cupboard. I'm going to play you some clips. I'm going to translate it. Elzazky, the words he said that Donald Trump, if you come here, we will show you things that you have never seen before. That if you come, you will fail. I thought we all said these Islamic terrorists are killing both moderate Muslims. Because if you go to timeline, you'll see where some people are saying that they are killing Muslims, they are killing Christians. It's not the Christian genocide. I thought we said that if these guys, if Nigeria can get help, then we can end the terrorism. I thought we said that the Nigerian government should wipe out terrorism. Or are you thinking what I'm thinking? Could it be that Nigerian government supports the protest of Elzazky? You know, there has been so many pontifications, speculations out there that where insecurity lasts more than 48 hours, definitely powers that be supports it. Could that be what is playing out before us? Everything that we are seeing playing out like a Netflix movie. Everything points out to something that some people who are in a powerful position have interests. And those that are affected are cowards. These are the things I can extract from everything that has played out in the last 1 month. Since the beginning of November, we know that October it was cool, right? November 1st, Donald Trump announced that Nigerian Christians are being killed in a very large numbers by Islamic terrorists, bandits, extremists. And ever since then, there has never been a day that these fundamentalists in the north have not been speaking. They have been going from elter to skelter, saying that Donald Trump, leave us alone. We will sort out our issue in our own way. We will do this, I will do that. There's one pastor. I just pray, Pastor Dakomo. I pray for that man. Your life is in the hands of God. Because there's no guarantee that your life is safe. But your life is in the hand of God. Because if Pastor Dakomo, who has been protesting, cannot get people rally behind him, unless, of course, Pastor Dakomo has been lying. Because when there are no people to back up the truth, that truth will diminish. When lies become louder than the truth, the lies in a matter of days will become the truth itself. This is what is playing out. And we are seeing it with our two korokoro eyes. With our two korokoro eyes. Tomorrow there's a possibility that Elzazky will protest again. Perhaps this time we will take it to Kaduna. Because he had a protest earlier today in Kano. You have to see the crowd. Massive crowd. Massive crowd. And this is why I have come to terms that it is apparent that the Nigerian government, I've always indicted Obasanjo for it. I mean, Yerima has testified to it. That Obasanjo was the one that called the then Kano state government that, listen, you know what? Go and authorize Sharia practice. Because when he was going to the election period, the Kano indigenes who wanted Sharia to be institutionalized. Okay, they want Sharia proclaimed because states like Zamfara, Katsina have done it. And this is, I'm talking about Katsina of Yaradua. They've pronounced Sharia. Because of the pressure, because of the Kano youth who were clamoring that there would be a civil war, when Obasanjo was supposed to rise, mobilize the police, mobilize the Nigerian civil defense into Kano State to curb any form of unrest, that Nigeria will remain a secular state. Instead, it was reported that it was Obasanjo himself that called the Kano State governor. I think it was Shikaru. He called him and told him, you know what? Go ahead, do the Sharia, pronounce it. After all, this Sharia will not get to the south. I don't know where a man will lead the polarization of a nation. And we keep telling ourselves we are one. We are not one. The earlier the better we accept our reality, our faith as a people, that we are not one, the better. I'll play you that cassette now where Yerima exposed everything. I'm sure you guys know Yerima, the governor that married, is it a 13-year-old girl or is it an 8-year-old girl? I can't remember, but that was the moment he brought in Sharia. Obasanjo enabled it because he was afraid for his own political career. The same thing is what I am challenging Tinubu. Would you be able to do the right thing? There is no man born of a woman that is a Nigerian that cannot say that there has been and there is still some targeted attacks against Christian communities in Nigeria. In Middle Belt, in some parts of the north, if anything's up now, as early as this year, we still had attacks. In fact, as early as just 3 days ago, or 4 or 5 days ago, we had attack in Middle Belt. We had attack yesterday against an evangelical boss that has all the denomination members by these Fulani militias. So you will agree that Nigeria, if we in the south that are crying, we need help, we need help, we need help, but we can only cry in our closet. We cannot go outside and shout and scream and stage protest. And those that are telling us to keep quiet are now staging protests, silencing us, not forcefully, by the way, because they do not have the capacity to tell us not to protest. But somehow, some way, we are afraid, we are scared that we cannot protest, that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. The Nigerian government to what? To stop it. Nobody is indicting every Muslims. The Muslim extremists, those that are defending the terrorists, should be arrested, prosecuted. This is how a nation is built. When there is a lack of courage, liberation will be at a very far distance. Who wants to save us? The Donald Trump now going to watch the protest now, and he will be expecting that, okay, if I say this thing, make I no go dey carry person wahala for my own head, they draw my own for hand. Let us wait for the, for those who are saying there's Christian genocide. Let us wait for them. Maybe they will stage a protest. When they stage a protest and then there is an arrest, everybody knows what is happening by then. But I know there won't be an arrest. People, they see, God, we have the Christians are cowards, or shall I say, the Nigerian Christians are cowards. They are too cowardly. By all standards, they are too cowardly. No boldness, no courage. Why should Elzazky that never protested against bad governance, he has never protested against corruption, he has never protested against the wrongdoings, he has never protested against constant invasion of Zamfara, Kaduna by these Islamic fundamentalists. So because now Donald Trump wants to come in, that is when he remembers Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Hypocrite, bloody hypocrite. Oh, now because Donald Trump is saying that this has now become a global concern, it has become a global issue. Yes, we can see how Donald Trump has been able, to a significant level, cut down the issue of Israel-Palestine issues. The same Elzazky that was against Israel. Elzazky was supporting the Palestine to wipe out the Israel nation. Are you getting what is going on? So Elzazky now will be calling on Iran to help us stop terrorism. Is that what he's telling us? When we already know the foundation, the very root of this Islamic jihadists, that most of them travel to the Middle East to get this education, to propagate this extremism. Most of them in Iran, Iraq, Hamas, some in Sudan, and Sudan gets Libya, not Liberia. Most of them gets those ideology from Iran, Iraq, Al-Qaeda and ISIS. But yet, we, the Christians that are on the receiving end, we just decide to swallow the pain, to swallow the defeat. Please, Donald Trump, don't come again. I beg. If those that accept the fact that there's Christian genocide, saying there's Christian genocide does not threaten the unity of Nigeria. Saying that there's Christian genocide, that Christians are being unalived by Islamic jihadists, Islamic terrorists, Islamic extremists, how does that affect you, a normal Muslim? Those that are sympathizers are the ones that are agitated, that are threatened, that are panicking, and this is why you can see them, they are leading protests here and there. I call again, Donald Trump, please do not come, because it seems that the Nigerian Christians, that the Namidu Beltans who brought this matter up are not serious people at all. Let's quickly listen to Yerima on how Obasanjo brought in Sharia to Nigeria.
On Tuesday, I received a letter for emergency meeting of National Council of States.
States, okay.
On Wednesday. I came to Abuja For the first time, there was never a meeting when the security agencies were all invited.
Were present.
In the National Council of State. All the former heads of state and presidents.
Everybody.
All the governors, 36 of us, service chiefs, chief of army staff, chief of defense staff, minister, everybody
all
was
the security
there. Minister
chiefs.
of defense. Then Mr. President sat down and now in annoyance and angry, General Obasanjo, he now said that he cannot be president of Nigeria when a governor under his watch will do something unconstitutional by implementing Sharia. I say, Mr. President, you cannot say it's unconstitutional. He turned to his left and asked the Attorney General of the Federation, Chibola Ege. He said, Attorney General, is the governor not doing unconstitutional action? He says, sir, it's unconstitutional. I say, no, Attorney General, you don't have power. At that time, I was so educated by those
By the committee.
Zaria, every section of the Constitution that gave me the power, the right. I now quoted the section of the Constitution that says, if there is any conflict between the law passed by the state government and that of the federal government, it is only Supreme Court of Nigeria
that will
determine which law is right. So one governor from the north stood up in annoyance and said, Mr. President, this is Nigeria. We cannot, because of one individual, allow Nigeria to break. This action being done by a governor of Zamfara is capable of destroying this country. Then I stood up, I said, my life is neither in your hand nor in my hand. And just sat down because I realized what you were saying, that because of one individual they cannot allow Nigeria to gather here and this thing. So then one governor in the south, from the south, raised his hand and said, Mr. President, this Sharia issue has nothing to do with us in the south. It affects only the north. You can see the who's and cries will only come from the north. But I would suggest that you allow the vice president, who is their brother, to invite the 19 northern governors and resolve their crisis.
And resolve the issue.
So the meeting now resolved that the vice president should invite the 19 of us to resolve the issue. In the morning we came to Abuja, and the vice president was confronted by the journalists. What was the resolution? He said, we have not agreed on anything yet, but we are going back to penal court of northern Nigeria. We suspend the Sharia and before a decision is taken. Then Aliru was interviewed later. He didn't know, he was not around when the vice president was interviewed.
Made his own
They confronted him. They said, they learned that a decision has been taken to suspend the Sharia law. He said, no. It didn't happen. Yerima insisted that he passed his law and that he cannot change this thing. Then Obasanjo now got angry when he got the knowledge, the information that we have not resolved the matter, and invited us in his house in the night, the following week, for another meeting, 19 northern governors. You know, that time the ulamas were preaching, they were mobilizing people, asking the governors to follow suit. They didn't. But that night meeting made Kure to say tomorrow he's going to declare Sharia. I was sitting in Abuja in my residence, in the lodge at Sokoro. I just saw Kure. He was out written speech, was out law, passed. He just sat down and said today he, Engineer Abdul Kure, by the grace of God, the executive governor of the Niger State has hereby declared Sharia law in Niger State. That he has given all Brussels, prostitute houses, 2 weeks to leave his state. And he has he asked all the beer parlors to close, to shut down in 2 weeks. And gambling houses are also given 2 weeks to leave the state. Then he said he's going to prepare his bill and send to the State Assembly within these 2 weeks to get it passed. It was only then he contacted me, got the documents that I passed, and he presented to Assembly and passed it into law within 2 weeks. The next day, Adwa declared Sharia in Katsina State. Because of that meeting.
Yes.
And then the next day, Bapara declared in Sokoto State, and that's how state governors started declaring in northern Nigeria. 11 states declared. The 12th state was Kano. He didn't declare because he promised President Obasanjo he would never declare Sharia. But unfortunately for him, people in Kano are mobilized. They follow him anywhere he go for Jumu'at prayer. They stop him. They started even throwing stones. Then he now moved to army barracks to be observing his Jumu'at prayer. Even there, youth started following him. Then around January, February, the election was, I think, in April or March. He called me in the night. I said, Rima, this problem you created for us. Chief Obasanjo now called me this night and said he received security report that if I don't declare Sharia in Kano, I was going to lose election. That he advised me to quickly declare Sharia. The president that said he would not allow Sharia is now advising the governor of Kano State, he's still alive, the two of them are alive, to declare Sharia in Kano. He said, please come to Kano next week, support me to declare Sharia. I went, we gathered people, a very large crowd that are ready to observe the Sharia law in Kano. He declared Sharia and he still lost election. Because he didn't do it
on time.
Intentionally.
Yes.
He didn't
do it with good intention. It was basically just for the purpose of election.
And he lost it.